Your favorite swimbait podcast is now proudly sponsored by Leviathan Rods. Leviathan Rods is a Texas-based fishing rod company that's handcrafted and uses high-end, made-in-the-USA rod blanks. Every sale from Leviathan helps support foster youth and their families. With Leviathan Rods, you're not only going to feel a difference, but you're going to help make a difference too. Friends of the show will also get 20% off their rod purchases by using code SCALES20 at checkout. So whether you're fishing a depth 250 or a square bill, make sure you're using the best rod choice out there, Leviathan Rods. And welcome back to another episode of your favorite swimbait podcast, Scales and Tails, episode 144 today. We're joined by a gentleman from up there in the New England area. It's been a little while since we've had a New England guy on, and let alone a Massachusetts guy on. And this is a gentleman you guys are probably maybe not as familiar with him, but you're probably familiar with the baits that he makes up. So we're joined by Mr. Joey Lanciotti tonight, or today, this morning. We're recording this in the afternoon, but you guys are probably listening to it in the morning. But anyway, joined by Joey, we're going to get to know a little bit about him, get to kind of hear his experience with swimbait fishing, and obviously get to hear the whole story behind the baits that he makes and kind of how he got into that. So I guess, Joey, started off today, man. I guess kind of who are you? Tell the people who you are, and we'll get into your origin story.
I'm Joey Lanciotti, and I make the Lanciotti Lures, Psycho Gill and the Psycho Trout.
Heck yeah, dude. So I guess this is kind of the common S&T icebreaker, and I feel like it's probably the icebreaker for a lot of other fishing podcasts. So I guess I can't really say that. But I guess, when did the whole fishing experience start from you? Did it start when you were a younger kid, or did it take a little while for you to get into, or kind of what's the story behind Joey and getting into fishing?
So my story is a little different than most people. Most of these guys have been fishing since they're little kids and shit. I actually started, I was a late bloomer. I think I started when I was like 20, 21.
Okay.
My I was actually landscaping at the time. My buddy was like, yo, you want to go fishing? Dude, at the time, I'm like, nah, fishing's gay. I don't want to do that. Fuck that. And he was like, oh, let's just go fish. And we got some shiners, and we went to like a local little shithole pond, and we caught some fish, dude. Dude, it was like fucking, it was over after that. I was just hooked.
Damn, dude. I guess so. I just gotta ask this question because I'll forget. Do you still fish that pond that you got into it at?
Hell no, that place is a
Oh,
shithole, dude.
oh shit.
Yeah, it was a good starting pond, but yeah, I'm on to bigger and better things now.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. So you get hooked. I mean, dude, honestly, like, you got hooked around my age. I'm only 22, and for guys who haven't listened to too many shows, are gonna think that's crazy. For some reason, people think I'm like 26, 27, 28 years old. Whether that's a compliment or not, I don't know. But whenever I say my age, or I say it like on Instagram, people always message me like, "You're only 22." So if you guys don't know, yes, I'm only 22. But so you got into it around my age, which is crazy. I feel like that, like you said, that is a very, very late start to the
Yeah,
whole
dude.
fishing scene,
Yeah.
man. So got into it with the shiners and stuff. After
Yeah.
that, kind of
Unfortunately, it's not.
how did that evolve from there?
Well, dude, I mean, obviously, fishing with shiners and shit, but was like, these are expensive. Let's try regular baits, obviously. So, I was just a little idiot back then. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So we tried like Senkos and shit, and that's, like everyone else, start with that shit and started catching them from there. And I fished like that for like a couple of years, and then my buddy Chris, who I went to school with a while ago, but we weren't like too close at the time. But he hit me up and he's like, "Yo, come fishing with me. I'll show you to catch some big ones." And I went fishing with him, dude, and he had like the MS slammers and shit. I was like, "What the fuck are these goddamn things, dude? This is ridiculous." And dude, he let me borrow one, and I'm throwing it on like a little fucking like a ugly stick, like
Oh my god.
20-pound braid. Like I didn't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I was using a 7-inch slammer and I caught a 5-pounder like first time. And I was like, all right, dude. I was like, where do I get these? What do I do? It was over.
Dang, dude. So like, you had only been fishing for a limited amount of time when you figured out what swim baits were.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of guys were like, yeah, learn conventional and learn how to use that and then get into swim baits. I kind of did the opposite. Whatever. I'm not like super proud about it, but it is what it is, man. It's just how it happened. So here we are.
Dude, that's kind of badass that you can say like your first, like most guys will say, oh, my first five came on a shiner or came on a Senko. You're like, nah, dude, like you drop the dick on him. You're like, nah, my first five came on a on a
Well,
MS
the
Slammer.
first five I ever caught came on a spinner bait,
Okay. Oh well, dude, that's still pretty
but
badass.
but that was like, dude, I was fishing for like 2 years and like fucking 3 years maybe, and I finally caught a 5 pounder. Then I started using swim baits for one day, and I catch a 5 pounder. I was like, all right, there's something to this. So,
Dude,
and
that
then you know how it is. Everyone falls down that fucking wormhole, and then now we all
yeah.
have shit hanging on our walls, thousands of dollars worth of shit.
Dude, at the time, was like swim bait fishing popular in New England, or was it kind of still
Not, not. I mean, it was definitely on the uprise for sure. Like I caught like the beginning of like that huge up uprising of like swim baiting.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't like it was today, but it was definitely on the uptrend. Like people were posting shit. I'm looking at all these other guys on Instagram, like catching fucking giants on swim baits, and I'm like, yo, fuck all the bullshit. I gotta start using these things.
Yeah, yeah. And for guys who don't know, you New England guys, like since it's all like such a close knit group of states and stuff up there, like you guys have a tournament page like that. What is it, the net page or net
Yeah.
fishing, whatever the hell it is?
Yep.
Was
Yeah. The net.
Yeah, so like was that I guess since I don't really know what that page is it just tournament stuff or like are guys posting fish that they're catching just whenever and shit too?
So that particular page is like a tournament page, and
Okay.
it's everyone in New England, and it's just like I think they have a yearly tournament and they have monthlies too,
Okay.
but the yearly is like, dude, it's crazy, man. People at the end, I think, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, this one kid, Ryan McNeil, dude, he got a 10-pound
Oh.
fucking bass, dude. Yeah, I think his bag was like 36 pounds. I was like, dude, yeah, I'm all set with that. I don't even bother entering those, dude. I feel like I'm just giving away my money. These guys are fucking crazy hammers.
Dude, that's crazy. So I guess like
Yeah.
at the time were you seeing guys post swim bait fish in New England pages around the time you were getting into it?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So like it was like you said
Yeah.
just starting to kind of take off then.
Yeah, it was a lot of like BBZ rats and like
Mm,
fucking slammers, more of the old school shit. A lot of the newer shit hadn't been out yet.
right.
Now we have fucking all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It's pretty cool to see all these different lures being built and shit.
Yeah, it's fun being in a New England region page and like seeing the stuff like that's going on over there because I've got no affiliation with anybody. I don't know what the hell's going on in there. I'm just on the page for laughs and I see some of the shit and I'm just like, wow, it's fuck you guys are crazy over there.
Yeah, dude, we got some really good waters over here. A lot of lakes and ponds and shit in our area. So it's like, you know, I guess I don't know. I never really like I took it for granted, but I look at some of these guys in like the Midwest and shit, and they have to like travel like hours to like go fish anything because they're like there's no water around.
Right. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. So when you were getting into it, when you got into the swim baits and you caught that five, did that kind of perk you up to fishing? Like this is badass. Like I'm gonna drive everywhere and fish a whole bunch of waters. Like I guess, did that like broaden your fishing, like your drive to fish?
Oh yeah, I was bricked up bad, dude. I was, dude. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That got me fucking. That was like, I went from like fishing is like awesome to fishing is fucking like my life.
Yeah, like
You know
complete
what I mean?
180. I've got three words for you: Lake Pro Tackle. Lake Pro Tackle has all the gear you need to be ready to have a successful day on the water. Friends of the podcast receive 10% off your orders while using code SCALES at checkout. Checking out with code SCALES not only saves you guys some money, but it also helps me host more giveaways to give back to you guys, the listeners. On their website, you can find exclusive and rare swim baits, JDM and BFS products, and of course, conventional tackle. I can't forget to mention Lake Pro Tackle gets the monthly throwback shop colors at the beginning of every month. Also, orders over $50 get free shipping, including rods. So do me a favor and remember to use code SCALES at checkout to save 10% at lakeprotackle.com. The vast majority of double-digit bass caught in Mexico are caught out of two lakes, Lake Bacharach and Lake El Salto. Josh Daniels Pro Bass Adventures is the only outfitter in Mexico with lodges on both of these trophy lakes. With a fleet of Ranger boats at Lake El Salto and Live Scope Plus at Lake Bacharach, Pro Bass Adventures has the best equipped guides and boats in Mexico. Better call Pro Bass 480-491-9300 or probassadventures.com. We are Mexico Fishing. Staring at that peanut butter and jelly like a largemouth staring at a dollar store worm? Then it's time to upgrade your snackuation. Meat Crafters' line of handmade, small batch, pre-sliced salami and charcuterie make the perfect base for your weekend snackle box. Fill a Plano 3600 with an assortment of Meat Crafters' old world style salami and charcuterie, and you're sure to become the boat ramp champ. Listeners of Scales and Tails can use Scales and Slices at checkout on meatcrafters.com to save yourself 10% off your cart. The code can be used as many times as you want, so you'll never run out of fuel in your pursuit of giants. The next time you reach into the fridge to load up your boat cooler, skip the fish food and grab a stack of Meat Crafters pre-sliced snacks. They are guaranteed to exceed your PB. That's sick. And all of that in the course of, like 3.5 years by the sounds of it. Like absolutely.
Yeah, it happened pretty quick. I mean, my first few years of fishing, I didn't really learn much. I didn't really like. It was just kind of like repetitive, like monotonous, the same type of fishing. But like, when I met Chris and I started going out, and we actually like tried to go fishing. Once you get like on a boat and shit, you learn a lot more about like the fish and how they like where they are, like where they will be at what time.
Yeah.
Like from when at the time I was only fishing from the shore, so I had so many limited options. It was just like overwhelming. I don't know. I'm lucky I caught anything, to be honest with you.
From what I've seen in the pages and stuff, it's like shore fishing can be good. Guys will go out and catch fish on crawlers or whatever it may be, but having a way to get off the shore, like that opens up
Yeah,
dude, like
definitely, dude.
for
Because like,
people who don't know, the Coleman crawdads are like a staple in New England. If
yeah,
you guys aren't
I
familiar
got I
with
got
those
one
little
too.
plastic bass raiders, like that is the pinnacle of swim bait fishing in New England, I feel like. And so, like, if you have one of those, I feel like it just opens up. It seems like it opens up so many bodies of water and like just your opportunity to fish.
Yeah, because we got a lot of like shitty swampy like ponds and like shitholes. So
Mhm.
you can't get a lot of big boats in here. A lot of places you can't even, it's illegal to have big boats. So you got to use like the little like car toppers.
Yeah, dang. So you get into it and you start catching fish, and you kind of get really intrigued by it and stuff. At the time, were you a part of like Universe or Badlands or Underground or anything?
Yeah, I think I was part. I think I'm in Swimbait Universe for a while. I think I was part of some other fishing pages. Just like everyone else, you just fucking go through all of them, posting all of them,
Mhm.
posting all my dinks and shit. Like anyone gives a fuck.
Well, dude, like if it's been a couple years since you had gotten into it, I mean, guys don't know how. I've talked about it before. Like the swim bait scene in like 2015 and below, like dude, it was cutthroat. Like it was like fuck your 2 pounders, fuck your 3 pounders.
Yeah,
5 pounders are barely okay to post. Like guys were trophy hunting. Like they didn't give a shit about your
yeah.
swim.
I mean, back, yeah, like that, the Californian scene and all that shit, dude. It's like fucking a 5 pounder. They'd be like, they spit in your face.
Yeah, yeah. Like why
You
the
know what I
fuck you
mean,
even
dude? If it wasn't
posting?
over 10, they didn't give a fuck, dude.
Mhm. And obviously it's changed. Just I mean, how much it's changed since then. It's
Yeah, it's a
crazy how
lot more
much.
like I think it's a lot more chill and laid back now. Like, dude,
Yeah,
like 5 pounder is still a nice fish, dude. Like, I can't if I could only post 10 pounders, then I wouldn't have posted a fish ever.
right, dude.
You know what I mean, dude? I don't give a
Yeah,
fuck, dude. If I catch a five on swim bait, I'm fucking posting and suck it.
yeah,
Check it out.
exactly. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about it, but I've said it multiple times, so you guys definitely know where I'm going with this. Like right now, the swim bait culture it's like the Renaissance times, like the cool prints, the cool paint jobs, it's just like the aesthetic of swim bait fishing is super cool to see. Whereas 10 years ago it was give me a trout painted bait. I don't
Yeah.
want a T-shirt. I don't want any stickers. I just want this bait from you. And it's kind of crazy how much it's changed since then. And it's kind of like I don't know if it'll ever go back. Like I think that it's kind of where it's at, and I feel like swim baiting is at a really good place right now.
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely evolving, it's like all things. You just have to keep evolving and growing. I mean, you can't stay stagnant or you fall behind.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, you got into swim bait fishing, caught some good fish, posted about it, whatever it may be. Was was there so there are a couple shops that I know of in the New England area that sell swim baits. At the time, did you have to order this stuff off of like Facebook, like PMs and stuff, or was there shops at the time carrying some variety of baits?
No, most of the shit that I got was either off of Tackle Warehouse, Swimbait City. Swimbait City had some good shit, especially when I wanted slammers. They always had like the good ones in
Oh
stock.
yeah.
And other than that, dude, a lot of times I would just fucking buy used ones. Like I bought a lot of used lures at the time because I didn't have a lot of money. I just buy used lures and change the hooks. Like my first two slammers I ever bought were used. And like my first few times out, I bought two 9-inch slammers. One was a 2-piece and a 3-piece. And I went out with it and I fucking started. I caught a 4-pounder like my first time, and at the time I was like pumped with that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I fucking messaged the kid. I was like, dude, thank you so much for fucking selling me that. He's like, yeah, no problem, dude. Like, dude, I don't know. I was just fucking so pumped, dude. I was like, this shit works. It's just crazy. Like, this fucking, there's something to these big ass baits, bro. Like, it's fuck catching a bunch of like 2-pounders. Who gives a shit? I catch like 1, 4, or 5. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'd rather catch 1, 4, or 5 a week than fucking 20 or 30 fucking 2 or 3-pounders, you know?
Yeah. Dude,
Some
that,
guys probably hearing this, they're like, that's pathetic. But, you know, that's the reality, you know?
dude,
It's my reality.
I will say like that mentality is kind of what I had too. Like I felt and you know, you kind of talked about it earlier too, like you fall down that rabbit hole and you prioritize a 4-pounder on a glide bait over a 4-pounder on a jerk bait. And that's super cool, you know, badass. But
Yeah.
I feel like once you've been doing it for a while, like you just like there's a point in time where after, you know, you swim bait fish for a couple of years or a handful of years, you just want to go out and catch fish. And that's kind of where I am now. Like, dude, not gonna
Yes.
lie, I haven't been
100%.
posting about it much, but I have been slapping the smallmouth on the 110. I've been slapping them on the dark sleeper. I've been slapping them on the Kitech. We went out to St. Clair the other day, caught 112 smallmouth, and I boat flipped a 20-inch smallmouth, and because I just was used to swim bait fishing, and it was just like wow,
Oh,
like
what's the fuck is your asshole up?
dude, it was just like it was like you know, just absolutely yamming a hook set on a jig hook bait
Yeah.
that wasn't super crazy, and it was just like, damn, like you know, this is an experience to have. But if I had only brought my swim bait rod, I probably would only caught like 5 or 10 fish. And
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
wow, like 2 years ago, I would have only brought my swim bait rod, but now I've caught enough fish on a swim bait to feel cool or whatever it may be. It's just like I want to go out and I want to try to catch the biggest fish I can. And not saying that it's always gonna happen on a swim bait, but sometimes the fish are gonna eat a 3.8-inch Kitech and they're not gonna touch a glide bait. And I feel like
Yeah,
it takes a couple of years to kind of get in that mindset a little bit.
100%, dude. Yeah, that whole like swim bait only mentality is like you know it's it. I respect it, but it's like, dude, fucking, I don't know, man. You got to throw what works. Sometimes it's not always the big baits. Like you
Yeah,
can, if you do better with fucking conventional during a certain period of time, then what the fuck's wrong with using that, dude?
yeah,
I
dude.
mean, some of the biggest fish around have been caught on fucking conventional shit. You don't have to, you know, swim baits will typically catch bigger quality fish, but that's, you know, not always the case. You have to use what works. You can't have the mentality that's in like, you know, I'm only using swim baits. If
Yeah.
that's not what's working, then you got to switch it up, bro.
Yeah, I used to have the mentality of I'm gonna go out and 14 trips and I'm gonna skunk for 13, and that 14th trip I'm gonna catch a 3 on a
Yeah,
rat or a glide bait. Dude, now if I only take a swim bait rod and I don't catch shit, that next day I'm going out on the river, I'm taking my jerk bait rod, I'm bringing 2 dark sleepers, I'm bringing a sleeper craw. Like
yep,
I just want to go out and hammer fish, and obviously they don't want to eat the damn swim bait, so why am I gonna try to force feed that?
exactly, dude. The fish dictate what the fuck they want, not you. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you want to catch them on; it's what they want to eat.
Yeah, dude, exactly, exactly. So, kind of to get off that tangent that we just got on, the swim baits are always the answer.
Yeah,
So you kind of buying some stuff off Tackle Warehouse and buying some stuff off of Swim Bait City, and at the time, like what were slammers going for? Probably like $60 still.
yeah. I think it was like $70. Yeah, 60 or $70 for a 9-inch slammer. I think it's hard to remember, dude. I've been
Right.
fucking. It's been a while, but yeah, I believe it was about that. I think I got both of those secondhand for like $100. So I
Okay.
was pumped about that. So I know that was more than that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're spending some good money. I guess this will be a fun question. What rod were you fishing this stuff on? Like at that point in time, there
Oh
probably wasn't a
God.
whole amount of option.
At first, dude, I was using like a fucking ugly stick, bro. Because I mean, what the fuck, you know? I was, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I was a moron. I was using like an ugly stick with like 20-pound braid, but that's what I had. But after catching those big fish, I was like, you know what? It might be worth to invest some money into this shit because, you know. So I got what was it? What's that? Savage, not the Savage Gear one. Akuma Guide
Oh, the
Select.
yeah.
I got one of those, which, dude, I don't know. we can talk about rods and shit whenever you want, but
Yeah.
I switched from that later. But that rod was way better than what I was using, but it sucked. That thing was a fucking broomstick, bro. I lost so many goddamn fish on that rod, and the guides started breaking and like sliding around and shit. It was pathetic.
Let's
You really do. You get what you
we'll
pay for. I'll tell you that.
yeah. We'll clarify. This was okay, I'm just gonna say to clarify on this clarification, I have not touched the new guide slick, so I don't know what they're like, but this is the second generation. Joey is talking about the first generation. If you guys are
Yeah,
unfamiliar, they went out to the woods and they cut down a pine tree and they threw guides on it, and that was the original guide select. That
yeah.
rod
It was.
was so
I
stiff,
mean,
dude.
I caught a good amount of fish on it, but I lost a good amount too. It just was too stiff. I don't know, man. I lost a lot of fish like at the boat, like thrashing around. It still haunts me to this day. Some of those fish.
At
So,
at the time, did you believe in nets or were you boat flipping and grabbing
oh,
everything?
always nets, dude. Fucking fuck boat flipping. Nets, nets, nets. I don't give a shit. I'm not. If I was by myself, that's one thing maybe. But like, I usually only fish like with someone else, especially if
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
Yeah.
It's just so
Okay.
much easier, dude. And it's better for the fish. You keep the fish in the fucking net in the water.
Mhm.
Keep it like like hydrated or whatever the fuck. You know whatever you
Yeah,
want to
no, no,
call it.
I know what you
Fucking
mean.
keep
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
the oxygen flowing, keep them alive and shit. Well, you can that way you can gather all your fucking shit and get
Mhm.
ready. Take pic. You can like breathe, fucking do your thing. You don't have to having the fucking fish flop around on the fucking on the deck.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I definitely understand where you're coming from. So, yeah, you pick up the beautiful, awesome guide select, catch some fish on it, lose some fish on it. Um, and so you like you're not crazy in debt to the swim bait game, but you forked over a good amount of money. Was there ever a point in time where you're like, hey, I could just make my own bait, or like I could do something to lesser the cost of this whole swim bait thing?
Yeah, well, I think yeah, definitely, and that's exactly. I think that's where a lot of people start.
Yeah.
Because I was like looking at the slammers, like these $65 each. So obviously, my first few baits were the broomstick inspired by the fucking Pats and the slammer and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, a whole other topic of discussion. But
That's hilarious. I gotta
yeah,
I
so I
gotta ask, did you just buy
yeah,
a wooden dowel and cut it and sand it
oh
down?
yeah, straight the fuck up.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, got one from fucking what is it, Home Depot. I got a lathe, bro. I fucking carved them out. I got cedar. Eventually, I got cedar. At first, I was using fucking pine and shit.
Yeah.
This dude, it's embarrassing almost because it's like pine at the time. I didn't realize, if that shit gets wet, bro, that it'll expand and contract. The bait's destroyed instantly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? With
Hooks will
cedar,
fall out. Yeah.
yeah. So cedar's hydrophobic, so you can get away with a little bit of hook rash, and then you can seal it back up after it dries. But like pine, once it gets wet, especially if you leave it in your box through like cold or hot weather, yeah, you're fucked. The paint's gonna come off like fucking snakeskin.
Dude, that's funny. Like this is the origin story that I don't know if you've been, I can't remember, you said you've been on another podcast, but this is the origin story. You're telling people that have no idea, they just know about your baits now. They have no idea about the lathe broom broom baits
Oh
that
yeah, no, yeah. I used to fucking do this shit in my basement, dude, in like this dungeon in my basement, and breathing in all this fucking shit. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And then I worked out of a fucking storage unit. That was fun too.
ooh,
I'm actually at a decent location now. I rent from my buddy, and it's a warehouse, so it's a little more legit.
hell yeah, dude. So you start making these baits. I gotta ask, the first one that you had made that was probably made out of pine and soon later self-destructed. Did you catch any fish on that bait?
Uh, so the first few baits I made are actually still mint because I used to for my clear coat I used to use epoxy,
Okay.
two part epoxy, which is like super fucking diesel. And so yeah, I don't know how I didn't fish them very long, so it never like cracked the epoxy. So it never got to like the wood never got exposed to the water, but so they're actually all fine. So
That's
I only caught a couple fish on them, and then I started making new lures. So I
dude,
never, I never, I never put in too much work where they got fucked up.
right.
So they're actually mint.
Dude, I will I
But I
just
have seen a few that I've made that are fucked now.
I've got I've got an idea of what the answer to this question might be. Did these baits have bills? And if they had bills, how did you make the bills?
Oh yeah, they all have bills.
Did you rip them out of the slammers?
No, 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 dude. Actually, slammer is a funny thing. I don't know if you know, but if you ever go to take a slammer bill out, the line tie is actually goes through the bill.
Oh, really? It's like one, it's like conjoined.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool. So it keeps it from ever coming out. But if you break it, you have to fucking pull the screw out and then put a new bill in. It's kind of a cunt, actually.
Cool idea until shit breaks.
Yeah, so keep that in mind if that ever happens. But no, I had Lexan sheets. I just ordered Lexan, and then I ordered a bandsaw and all that other bullshit, belt sander, and I just made my own bills. I just traced out fucking a piece, and then I just made a bunch of bills.
Heck yeah, dude.
I,
At
I
what?
have a company make them for me now, thank
Okay, good.
Christ. It's because it's probably one of the most important things, making sure the bill is in there straight.
Right.
The bill and the line tie being straight is the most important thing.
At what point in time did you think, holy shit, I just spent $400 in materials and tools. I could have had 8 slammers at this point in time.
I
Was it
ne-
a
that never
thought?
really that never really crossed my mind. I knew it was, I was like, I didn't go into it thinking like, oh, this is gonna be perfect right off the bat. I'm gonna
Right,
fucking make a bunch of lures and they're all gonna be dope. It's just like, it's fun, dude. It was just like, I don't know. It's like in buying a fucking new guitar or something. It's just something fun to do. At
right.
that time, I was like, I don't really give a shit what happens. It ended up working out well, but but it's just fun games at that point.
That's funny, dude. So caught a couple fish on your first two. At what point in time did you kind of start to like, oh, I can do this differently on my next bait that I make, or I can make this change, or maybe switch it up a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I made a bunch of different baits, but they're all like one of because they're wood. So I never actually molded them or anything like that. And then I was like, I was watching. You ever watch what's his name? Solar Baits on YouTube.
That sounds so familiar. I know who you're
He's this like
talking about.
Swedish dude, and he makes fucking sick ass baits, but he explains how to like do everything. So that's kind of like where I got I learned everything from. Basically, you got to learn fucking somewhere. But I was like, all right, I'm sick of making one of. I want to like make one bait and then mold it, and then like fucking do the whole thing and see what happens. So I bought all the shit and I made the Psycho Gill fucking. I actually the first bait was a Psycho Trout. Actually,
Okay.
I made the Psycho Trout out of wood and then I molded that and then I made that to a 2 piece, blah blah blah, and all that shit. And
Damn.
then
I, dude, I really thought that you had made the gill first.
no, it was a trout, bro. I made the trout first,
Damn. Okay.
and then I immediately made the gill because I was like, because basically there's two kinds of bait fish. Is the fucking I don't know, I forget what they're called, but there's the long ones like the trout style, and then there's like the gill bait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to cover both like bait styles. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But the gill ended up being I don't know they're both pretty cool, but the gill ended up catching way more fish. I feel like.
Dang.
So I don't know. So I started with that one. I sent that one to Roe to begin with because I had a good feeling about that one,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Here we are.
Damn. So that's crazy. So you, I guess, when you started the Psycho Trout, did you order like a block of balsa or basswood or whatever it may have been?
No, it's dog shit pine.
Really? It
So
was it
actually,
was it
you
a
look at
block or was
if
it
you
a
look at
powder?
the OG trout and gill,
Yeah, yeah.
even though they're resin, you can still see like fucking
Like
wood
grain.
grain. Yeah,
Really?
because yeah, pretty dog shit. But that's why I sent it to Roe and they refined it and made it perfect and shit.
Dang, dude. That's actually like that's pretty crazy. So before Row, did you make them and sell them, or was that after Row?
Yeah, man. Before Roe, so I had a 1 piece mold. I actually had to cut every joint, like
Oh,
it was a one it was a
yeah.
1 piece bait, so I had to cut every fucking joint. So imagine that. I had to cut every joint, cut every slot for the screw eyes, put everything in the lip slot, all that shit was like fucking hand done.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, it was miserable.
So like every one of those baits is like it's like has the possibility to be slightly different than the other
Oh
one.
yeah, no, even the new ones are, dude. Some of these motherfuckers tell me, they're like, "Yo, my bait fucking barely wakes," and then some of them are like, "Yo, I can't get it to crank," and I'm like, "Huh, that's fucked up." Because I weigh everything by weight, all my shit. But I think it's because I don't have a climate control environment, and I think the micro balloons The humidity makes them more dense. So I weigh my shit by weight, not volume.
Okay.
So I think the micro balloons I'm actually using less than I think sometimes, and it sucks,
Mhm.
you know. But there's not much I can do. I'm trying to work on it and figure out a way to fucking keep them from getting contaminated by the moisture, but it's kind of tough, you know. I'm not
Yeah.
fucking. I don't have limited options.
Right. Dang, dude. So those first, I guess we'll back it up a little bit. When you first made your mold in your first resin bait, this is a question I like to ask the builders. If you had to guesstimate how much, like, essentially how much resin and microbloons you just poured down the sink until you got the right ratio, how many gallons do you think you went through, or how many baits did you pour until you figured out the perfect ratio?
The truth, not many.
Oh my gosh, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew when you said the truth, I was like, he's gonna say it was like the second one he ever poured.
Bro, like, I forget what I don't know what the exact ratio is off the top of my head. Slash, I don't want to say it.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good.
but but yeah, it was only a couple tries, and it was pretty good. It's really buoyant. Basically, I just kept it super buoyant
Mhm.
because I noticed the wood is really buoyant, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I use a lot of microballoons,
Okay. Huh.
but I don't
Damn.
want to say
So
too much.
no, yeah, no, you're good. You're good. We don't need your recipe. So damn. So you like, I guess it is a little bit different to do a wake bait that you want to obviously float, and it kind of does one thing. Whereas a glide bait, you got two pieces you got to weigh and you got to figure out
Oh,
like,
dude, glide baits, bro. I could these guys who make glide baits, God bless them, because that shit is nuts. Because you literally have to fucking test each one like pretty extensively. I feel
yeah,
like my baits are waking cranks, so like it shouldn't be that big of a difference. But the micro balloons alone make a huge difference. So I can only imagine if I was making a glide bait.
yeah. And then like uh Mike Gilbert talked about this in the article he wrote for the magazine. He talks about how like he's the type of guy who he has a set function that he wants in his head that he wants a bait to perform at. He goes out on the water. Maybe we'll just use a glide bait in this instinct that's not what he's talking about. So if he can make glide bait and he wants to be a super slow head hunting glide, and you can only fish it choppy with the one he pours, like he just throws that thing away. Like he will not use that bait. He doesn't care if it does this thing really good. He wants to do this really good. So he'll go back to the drawing board and reset his whole process. But he said a lot, like a lot of guys will go out with a bait and they don't have any idea in mind of what they want it to do, and it'll do one thing really good, and then they're just sold on it. Like, yep, that's what I wanted to do. And so it's kind of crazy because like you could pour a bunch of different glide baits, and if this bait chops really good, but you want it to glide really, like you want it to glide really wide or have like a super like slalom glide, like you pretty much not necessarily, but like that's a whole nother bait you just made, like accidentally. And that's kind of crazy to me that you can fuck up on your ratios and completely make a whole different bait than you had in mind out of the same profile and everything.
Yeah, man, that shit is fucking. It's crazy how like the littlest things can make the biggest difference. That's why I've been trying to work on a glide bait with a friend of mine. We'll say that. And yeah, it's tough, dude. I don't want to release something that's not, that's not going to perform like well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's tough. It's not like the waking cranks are pretty forgiving. Like you can like get shit like the tolerances are way higher for a
Mhm.
waking crank than they are for a fucking a glide. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And like, dude, I know there's guys who have glide baits that they pour, and they pour the bait, pull it out of the mold, and then they install a hardware like that. Like I feel like if you do that, like that's like realistically that's asking for problems, because you have to put this pin in exactly center. You talked about the line tie being center. Shit, you got two more eyelets that have to be center, on top of they got to be the same screw set in there. Like they can't be, if they're one thread off, that bait
Yeah,
is
bro. And if your ratio isn't right, now you have
yeah.
to drill out a little bit or add a little bit of weight. You know what I mean?
Dude, I mean, yeah. When
I,
I a couple of years ago when I went and hung out with Vic before a show, like he'd poured his baits and his baits had the hardware installed, and he was screwing the lead chamber on the front half of the bait. And dude, like that job, like his glides were really skinny, and the drill bit he was using, like you had like an 1/8 inch on both sides. And like I saw somebody was drilling one and they fucking blew out the side of a bait, like the cavity of the bait. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know how like you've got to be pretty damn accurate with that drill bit to not blow it out of the front, but to make it so the lead can sit far enough front to weigh
Yeah.
that bait, and also not blow out the sides, like make a weak point somewhere. Like it's like, dude, glide baits are hard as hell to make.
Yeah, man. I want to. If you notice, I'm sure you have. Most of the biggest fish out there are caught on soft and glide baits.
Yeah,
So I definitely want to get a fucking glide bait out there, but I don't want to put anything out there that's junk.
right.
And
Yeah.
it's tough, bro. Like that shit is very sensitive,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean.
And I will say, um, just as a preface, you had mentioned row earlier. And I
Yeah.
mean, super cool. Guys have this notion. They probably heard you say that, and then they probably heard you say, I'm gonna make a glide bait, and they probably, something clicked in their head. They're like, oh, this row's gonna make a glide bait for them, whatever it may be. Okay. Yes, you guys may have a glide bait in CAD already printed out, or whatever it may be, a mold made, and what we've just been talking about for the last 10 minutes, you still got to figure out the ratio. That's not the key to
Oh
this.
yeah.
Yes, you got to figure out the ratio. I don't care if you already have the bait carved out of wood, printed, the molds made, whatever it may be. You still got to know how many grams of microballoons to how many grams of resin you need. And dude, it's like, I don't know. People get in their heads that, oh, they hear that row or somebody else is doing a bait for somebody, and they think, oh, the bait, oh, they already have the bait made. They're taking a shortcut in success. Okay, your bait is going to look aesthetically pleasing, and it's going to be the ratio of like left to right is going to be perfect. It's going to be very symmetrical. The row isn't giving you the recipe on how to pour the bait. You still got to figure that shit out yourself.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Good luck. if you don't have your shit figured out before you give it to row, and you're just having them design a bait for you, and then you're like, dude, all right, it's cool if you want to spend a few G's fucking figuring shit out, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's like,
No, thanks.
no, it's not that fucking simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had.
Road is they help, they make whatever you do better. They're not gonna,
Yeah.
like, if you go to them to have a bait designed, you already like are failing. Like yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
good luck. If you just have like a design and you give it to them, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
and like I know guys have gotten their baits we'll use you for an example, whatever it may be. You have your bait carved and you're making your own molds or whatever it may be, and then you
yeah,
send it to row, they refine it and stuff, and they send it back to you, and you are using your old, like, I know guys who have used their old ratio for their baits before they got it cleaned up, and it's completely off. Like you have to rework that ratio slightly because your bait is now
yeah,
symmetrical in a different shape. Like it's
yeah.
slightly different to where you got to
So
rework everything.
I feel like what Road does, they'll take the best part of your, like the best side of your bait, and
Yeah.
they'll clean that up and they'll mimic it
Yep. Exactly.
on the opposite side. So sometimes your bait might be like fatter or wider because they're literally just taking it and then like duplicating it on the other side.
Yeah.
So it's pretty close, but like depending on the bait, yeah, sometimes it's going to be a little. You have to fuck with either your weighting system or your microballoon ratio a little bit because the volume overall is going to be different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like if you they'll post a picture of the scan, like of my carved bait and then of their bait that make it symmetrical and stuff. And like say you own these baits, you don't notice it, and then you look at these pictures and you're like, whoa, I did not realize
Yeah,
how unsymmetrical this bait is that I have.
yeah. And that's like back to the glide bait thing. That's like like your bait has to be like perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got to
Like
disperse
some of the
water both ways the same.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make a glide bait. It's really difficult too because it's almost like we have to send it to row to have them make it perfectly symmetrical and then fuck with it some more
Yeah.
because you don't know if it's not swimming right. Is it just a little cocked one way or
Right.
another or like what? But like I don't know.
Or
So it's like
is your top
it's
eye
a big
school?
process. You have to send it to rows, send it, fuck with it some more, then send it back to row. And that's why I say, man, these guys, God bless them. Good luck. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, dude? Like it's a lot of fucking goddamn work, if you're not fucking around. if you want something good, it's gonna take a little bit of fucking. It's gonna take a lot of work and a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. So, those first psycho trout that I guess, do you remember the first psycho trout you sold?
Um,
Or
first
maybe
second
the first,
try.
like the
I
first
think
couple,
the
like,
first the
do you
I think
remember one of your
so.
first people?
I gave a prototype to my buddy Josh Scaife.
Okay, yep.
I don't know if you've seen him.
Yeah. I got to get him on the show. We talked quite a
Yeah,
bit
definitely, dude.
at both
He's a fucking man.
gatherings.
It's my boy right there, bro. Uh, he fucking dude. He caught some fucking giants on that thing. He actually, I'm pretty sure he caught the state gold pin one year on a brown trout, psycho trout.
No
He
shit.
actually got a tattooed on his leg. Yeah, it's pretty fucking dope.
That's sick. So he was one of the first guys who started catching fish on your baits.
Yeah. And then so that was a psycho trout. So the first bait, I kind of I don't know, it's weird because I sold a few when they're like prototypes. Like my like prototype days, like pre-row, I feel like are like just like fucking around. Like I feel like that wasn't like serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's I guess you'd say he was the first one I sent the trout to. And the gill, when I first came out with the gill, I sent a couple prototypes out to I remember I sent one to Johnny Ellis and I sent one to Adam Petruski or Pietrowski. And they fucking dude, they instantly caught a bunch of fucking giants and then posted them, and that helped me out tremendously with fucking like getting my name out there. So I'll
Right.
forever be grateful to those guys, all of them.
Heck yeah, dude. What if you had to circa a year on this, what year was this?
Shit, fuck. I don't know, what 2000 fucking 18 maybe.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking
I'm not
17.
sure if you go to my Instagram and go to the first fucking thing I posted way back down. That's one. I think
Okay.
it's 2017. I'm not quite sure because, like I said, back then I wasn't really like I was just fucking around, for a couple of years and still had a full-time job, so it wasn't like too serious.
Right, yeah. So I that's actually kind of a cool thing you brought up. So you'd make your we'll just stamp it until I find it here. We'll just say 2017 for now, just to have a number. So 2017, how many geez, I keep getting ahead of myself here. How were your how were your drops working? Were you dropping them like on Facebook, like PM me if you want one type style?
Yeah, I did a few drops. It's just so I did them because that was the only way really to fucking do it, like that I knew of, because I didn't have a website back then, and it was chaos, dude. Fucking I would drop it, and then I'd refresh the page, and I'd start going down right away, like fucking. I'd be like newest to last. So and what it looked like to me was so and so, and then so and so, and so and so, and then message them, and then I kept getting people being like, "Yo, I messaged them before so and so." Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, that's not what I saw. Dude, it was a big shit show. It was terrible, absolutely terrible method.
Dude, I will say,
Uh,
like, dude, people will just raise the biggest stink, and it's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm trying my best. I'm sorry
I'm
that
like, yeah.
I don't
I'm
have
like,
this
bro, I'm
figured
not
out yet.
fucking,
It's
I'm
my
not like
second
picking
job.
sides or like picking favorites here. I'm just going by what I saw.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking, what the fuck do you want me to do, dude? So anyway, yeah. So fuck that. We'll get the website coming out soon. So hopefully, you know, that you can bitch at the robots. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude. So your the Psycho Gill was you had made a post from Bro in 2019, August 4th, 2019 was when the Psycho Gill was getting messed with that
Yeah.
row.
So that was the first row one. I had the gill done first and then the trout.
Yep. Uh, so we got the Psycho Trout. There's a Psycho Trout post, December 5th, 2018. That was your first post, and then the gills were like the next month, and that's like they were posted up for sale. Okay.
Right.
And
So that's row type. So there was a little bit before that where I was selling them here and there.
okay, so excuse me. Were they were you just dropping a batch of a couple at a time because it was probably a little bit more time
There's
consuming
like
than it is
30 at
now?
a time or like 10 at a time or something like that. They're doing random little fucking weird paint jobs. I think one was like fucking the hell did I do? It was like cool car paint jobs, and then
Oh yeah,
just
there was one
random shit.
of a
Just like kind of
Lamborghini.
just kind of cool shit.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah, like, I've always been into cars. I love cars, so I was like, fucking, you know. Plus, it was easy as shit, just straight green, straight red.
Yeah, yeah, cherry red or
Yeah, with the
lime
carbon
green.
fiber lid, it's pretty dope looking, and it was easy, win-win.
That's funny as hell, dude. So I guess at what point in time did you kind of so now, correct me if I'm wrong, your drops are like in show drops, right?
Uh, so I haven't done any drops in a while, but I've just been doing the shows. So I guess if you call those
I
in-show
get it.
drops, then
Yeah,
yeah,
like in show, in shore, geez, oh Pete, in show like availability. Like that's where people
yeah,
get them right
pretty
now.
much, yeah. For the
When
past
did
year,
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did you stray away from the online drop stuff?
well, I had a fucking list of people, like 500 fucking people. And then eventually I just had to stop. I just be like, yo, I'm gonna get a website. There's probably dude, there's guys out there I probably told I'm getting a website for like 3 years. I feel terrible.
No.
I'm finally getting it. Finally getting it soon though, guys. Hold on. But yeah, there was a list of like 500 people, and eventually I fucking finally got to all of them, or I hope so. And after that, I was like, yeah, that's too gnarly. That's too ridiculous. It's too much fucking going, like contacting people, be like,
Yep.
yo, you want this? Finally getting it, and be like, yo, this is done. Send me the money, blah blah blah. I spent like fucking 2 or 3 days trying to fucking just get payment and get shit shipped, and it's just it's not worth it. So we're going a different route and seeing what happens.
Yeah, dude, it's a pain in the ass to try to like. I'll be honest. There's guys who will message me and say like, "Oh, can you send me or can I buy XYZ?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I write a note in my phone, but that still requires you to look at the notes in your phone or look at the
Yeah,
sticky note
dude,
on your
my
phone.
bro, I have like fucking like 100 pages of
Yep.
notes. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
And then and like, dude, and then I have to figure out where the fuck are these people? Are they from Facebook,
yep.
Facebook Business, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera? I'm like, dude, like it sucks, man.
And then it's like yeah, dude, it's just a pain in the ass. And like even I will say, hate to tell you, but even having a website, dude, there's still people who message me and like I, there's like people who don't want to use the website or whatever it may be, and I send them a link to the website and they're like, okay, I'll just take this, and it's like, well, just buy it
It's
off
not,
the website, like.
yeah, to buy it, dude. Like, dude, it's not how fuck. Yeah, man.
So
I'd be like,
bless those people because they
yeah,
obviously support me and stuff,
they
but it's
they
just
need the
like
blessing.
there's a website there, guys. Like just use the website. It's like Amazon, I promise. You just put it in your cart and check out. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's like some old lady. Did I eat today?
Yeah, yeah, dude. Oh man.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh geez, I'm trying to think of where we were. So I guess we'll just pick it
Sorry,
up.
buddy.
No, no, you're good. So you get your bait back from Row or whatever it may be. Uh, were you still doing the online drops then at that point in time?
Yeah, yeah, that's like how I did it back then. Because it wasn't too crazy. It's like 30 baits here and there. It wasn't. I mean, it was pretty chaotic, but it was manageable. But now, when I get the site going, I want to be able to do like 100 or 200 baits. I'm not
Yeah.
fucking dealing with that. That's fucking chaos.
Yeah. Oh, were you so it sounds like it wasn't full time yet for you. Were you doing, and this is gonna branch itself into another fucking rabbit hole. I know it will. Were you doing all your own painting at the time, and did you have any experience prior to baits?
Oh no, I just watched YouTube and I got an air compressor and I did my own paints. I mean, they're not the greatest still, but my God, if you saw how dog shit I was at fucking airbrushing when I first started, you'd be like, wow. I actually, dude, I still have a couple of baits in my room. I'm like, damn, bro, what the fuck were you looking at?
Dude, that's pretty damn funny. So you that was actually I was expecting you to like say that you were shipping off baits to the painters and whatnot. So like everything
Oh no, I
essentially
do
was
that more
all
now.
in-house.
It's nice. I'll have a bunch of baits. I'll give them to painters, and then it's like, oh, good. Because, dude, honestly, like, I have my shop at my buddy's house or my buddy's fucking warehouse. But the clear coating's a bitch, dude, because I gotta wait till everybody leaves. Like all the other guys leave because it's like the shit I spray is 2K polyurethane, so it's dude, it's like poison gas
Like
pretty much. So
fumigating the fucking
I gotta
place.
make sure everyone leaves the. It's a bitch, dude. So it's nice when you ship them out to other guys, have them paint them. The clear coating's the part that like I'm like, thank God.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I don't have to do that shit.
So, you had mentioned earlier, you had said something, yada yada quote, before I went full time. At what point in time, like, what led up to you, thinking or knowing that like you could make baits full time?
Oh, uh, well, it's probably like a year or so into it. I was selling a few baits here and there. It's actually selling a good amount, to be honest with you. Like at one point, I was doing construction at the point or excavation, I guess,
Okay.
at the time, and I'm in a fucking manhole, like in the hole, and they're digging. The fucking excavator's digging next to me, and it's like 120 degrees out, dude, or whatever. It felt like 120. It's probably over 100 though, and I'm just sweating. Literally, all my clothes are wet, like
Yep.
completely wet. Like I went swimming. And I'm like, dude, this blows. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, dude, I think I made more money this week selling baits than I did fucking doing this shit.
Mm.
And my boss started being a cunt, so I was like, you know what? I was like, hey man, I think I'm good. And then I kind of yeah, I kind of just went full bore making baits, and I mean, luckily for me, it worked out pretty good. But that's when I had to jump ship. I was like, dude, I don't. I look at all these old timers here. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't want to be fucking doing this shit when I'm 60. These guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah, they can
Like,
barely walk and get themselves out of bed and
yeah,
shit.
bro. I'm like, dude, they're like I hear we all have break time and shit, so we all talk. I'm like, and like the shit they say, I'm like, dude, your life sucked.
Yeah, yeah, right. Oh,
I'm
I've been
like, dude,
doing this
that's
for 43
miserable. I'm like,
years
dude, you
now.
literally spent your whole life working for some other asshole,
Yeah,
and like you're like so content with it. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
I
dude,
was like, fuck this, dude. I'm out of here, bro.
that's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Was there any like at any point after, probably like it probably took a couple months to get in this whole swing of things, of being your own boss, or whatever it may be. At any point, was it like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to go beg for my job, I'm gonna have to go find another job, or ask my boss for
Fuck
my job
no.
back, or anything?
Hell no. No, dude, it's been pretty good. Thank thank God, dude. Because I would have dude, I'll tell you one thing. People are like, oh, like people oh being your own boss is it has its ups, it definitely has its fucking downs, dude.
Yeah.
You want to talk about not fucking sleeping at night when you're like, fucking wait, I have to do
Oh,
this.
100%, dude.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, that's so I might be my own boss and all this other shit and make more money now and whatever. But like, dude, I'll tell you, it's fucking it. There's never like a calm moment in my life. It's always fucking. I got to
Go,
worry
go,
about
go.
this. Yeah, like, dude, I try to like relax even the days where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna like fucking I earned this. Like I did all this shit and now I'm gonna like take it easy. No, you always feel guilty. You're like, fuck, I gotta
Dude,
you
yes.
gotta fucking like, dude. If I'm not fucking, if I didn't go to the gym and work at least 8 hours, I'm like, dude, I'm like fucking. I feel like a piece of shit.
Dude, 100%. Like I don't care. Like, we just got done talking about our notes on our phone. Dude, I have literally started to carry a little 4-inch notepad. I keep it in my pocket every day. I get up in the morning, I shower, I get ready to go to work. I go to work, I pour my cup of coffee, I fill up my water bottle, and I sit down and I write the date, and I sit there and I'm like, what do I need to get done today? I'm like, I need to remember I'm recording with, I need to remember I'm recording with Joey tonight. I need to remember that I need to make the show art for the episode on Monday. I need to remember to text XYZ back and charge him for the magazines. I need to remember to post this today. And I make a checklist, and that shit even overflows into my stuff I do at home, because I will say, when I do this shit, and this is all stuff in my apartment, my dude, yesterday before I cleaned my apartment, I looked and I was like, why, like, how do I live here? Like, there's clothes
Bro. Oh
everywhere.
my God, dude.
I got
My
boxes. Dude, I've
I
got
know
boxes
that
full
shit is
from
in
Amazon.
shambles, my boy.
Yeah. Envelopes and just, dude,
Dude, never,
the
dude.
back sticker labels just everywhere.
I think about all this shit. I'm like, yo, what happens if I ever want to like bring like a fucking girl back here, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everyone want to bang some chick, she's gonna be like, dude, what are you like fucking 12?
Dude,
You know
I
what I
was like,
mean?
dude,
Yeah,
my biggest
whatever.
thing, my building is like kind of old. Yeah, sometimes I sit at work and I'm like, huh, like, what would I do if I went home and the building was just on fire? Like, literally everything, like everything is in my
Imagine
apartment,
the movie Joker.
and I'm like, damn, like, Scales and Tails would no longer exist for a couple months while I fucking bounce back from from that. So like now I'm at the point in time where I could probably get away with getting like a 20 by 20 storage unit and keeping, dude, I will say my apartment's only like 650 square feet. And I kid you not, probably over half of it is full of desks with magazines, fucking label
Oh
makers,
yeah.
just fucking boxes of stickers, boxes of envelopes, and
You can probably get a storage unit pretty close, pretty cheap.
yeah, and it's like, and that's like, I looked at it and I was like, it's like
And then, you
$110,
don't
and
want
it's
to
like,
shit where you eat,
yeah, it's like, wow, that would be so nice. Like, dude, I'm
Mm.
not even gonna lie, I've lived in this apartment for 2 years. The only people that come over are my girlfriend, and I've had some friends over like twice, and it's because like I don't even I have a huge ass sectional. I don't even have a TV in my living room because I there's no point. I can't sit down and watch TV ever. Like I'm always in front of this
Um,
damn computer doing stuff. So it's just like it'd be nice if my apartment was my apartment, not Scales and Tails HQ.
yeah. Well, I mean, it could be worse.
Oh, dude, it 100% could be worse. Not the sound like that's like the oh pity me story. I'm just like,
Oh
well,
no,
like you
fuck
said,
no. I
yeah,
get those all
like
day.
some days like I get home from work. I still have a full-time job. Some people don't think I do, but get home from a full-time job and like it's a super nice day. You know, it's been sunny, it's been 60 all day, and there's no wind, and I'm like, huh, like I'm gonna go fish the river. And I get down there and I'll fish for like 45 minutes, and I look at my phone or my watch, and I'm like, oh my gosh, been down here for 45 minutes. Like I still have a huge checklist of shit I got to get done. And like you said, like you feel guilty. Like you feel guilty when you take a day off and
Yeah,
you
you
may
can't
only
focus.
have to like in
It's
your
like all I
example.
can think about.
Yeah, like you may have to glue eyes on or something. And like you go out and fish for a little while and you're just like, holy shit. Like am I a bastard because I'm not gluing eyes in? Or am I a
I
bastard
know.
because I'm not working on the magazine? Like you said, it has its perks, but it's also like you're your own worst critic. And it's like shit. Like you feel bad for not working on stuff 24/7.
Yeah, dude. Trust me, it's fucking and it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because
Exactly.
like if I if I do go and stay late, I'll be like, get text from my boys and be like, yo, we're hammering them. I'm like, oh, that's good. I missed out on that. You know what I mean? It's like I was like, I feel like I'm always missing out on something.
Yeah.
You know,
It
lately I've been kind of like, thank Christ, I've been fucking putting a little more time towards fishing. I've been fucking actually getting some fish lately.
you've
So
been you've
thank
been hammering
God.
some fish. Yeah, I know. I've been seeing.
Thank God, dude. About fucking time. I look like I felt like I, dude. It's like, do I even fish? You know what I mean? For a while, I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Dude,
what am I doing? I make all these lures, and I have to live vicariously through everyone else catching
yeah,
giants.
yeah,
Like, what
dude.
the fuck?
I will say I just bought a GoPro. My GoPro should be here Saturday. I just got a brand new camera. Like I might. It's shitty because so you make baits and it's super cool. You get to watch guys make baits. Like I make more of like we were talking about earlier, the Renaissance, like the novelty things, and that's super cool. Like when guys post pictures of it and stuff. But it's just like, damn, like I wanna be able to go out and catch fish. Like I don't know, dude. Like it's kind of crazy sometimes to think about it, and it's like, fuck, I could be fishing right now, but I'm doing something else because other people enjoy it, and because it's fun to
Dude,
do. But it's like,
I'll be fucking fishing and worry and thinking I should be fishing for other shit. Like I'll be like, yo, I'm missing out on that. I'll be like carp fishing, I'll be like, yo, I'm missing out on the bass, or I'll be a
right,
bass
yeah,
fishing,
yeah.
but like, yo, I'm missing out on the carp or the pike or like whatever. God forbid when the striper get here, it's just game over.
Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's just kind of funny how like your mind works. Like once you become like a business owner, like dude, that's your lifeline. Like that is your child. Like that is how
Oh
you
yeah,
pay for
as far
shit.
as
Like
that
it's
is,
kind of
yeah.
crazy. It's crazy to be in that mindset.
Yeah, that's another thing too is everyone's like, "Oh, it's so sick, you're your own boss and all this other shit." And it's like, yeah, well, see, the thing is, a lazy piece of crap. So there's no one lighting like a huge fire under my like, dude. Like when you work for someone else, the alarm clock goes off. You're like, oh, I got to get up. I'm gonna get fired. Me, I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, good thing I know the
I
boss.
scroll in late. And I'm like, great, now I gotta stay later because I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, dude. It's definitely like you said, it's got its perks, but they might not necessarily be like disadvantages, but it definitely makes you feel like a shitty person if you go and have
And
fun.
Honestly, dude, I feel like that's a good thing because if you didn't feel like that, I feel like that means you don't really care.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So, as much as it sucks, kind of feeling like that, like it's good, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It means like you have a purpose in doing it. You're not just
You're
doing it because
prepared, dude.
whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Um, dude, I don't even remember what we were talking about before that. So I guess I'm just gonna hit you with
Fuck
another
it, baby.
question.
Hey, baby, look,
Are you
it is what it is.
are you the guy who like only fishes your okay, so we talked about not always fishing swim baits and stuff, but when you go out, are you the builder who is only fishing your stuff?
Nope. Definitely not. Fucking, I fished the KRR a shitload. That thing's fucking
Oh, yeah.
beast. Bro, the KRR fucking, dude, that's the cheat code, bro. That thing's the ultimate.
Yeah, dude, that
But there are nights where that's not hitting, and it's actually kind of funny. I feel like it's either dude, it's either the KRR or my gill in my experience. Like it's one or the other. Either it's the KRR on top, my gill on top, or my gill cranking.
mm, yeah. That's funny that have you ever sounds like you like the KR a lot. Have you ever thought of
I
making your own
do.
crawler?
Of course I have.
But is it like so I mean, it sounds like if you've tried it and maybe it didn't come out good, like you have the.
No, I did, and it didn't. It came out good, but the KR is like it's like its own beast.
Right.
That so do you fuck with crawlers a lot?
Dude, I will not lie. I had never seen one until the Virginia gathering. It was after the show, Glenn and Gus and I were out on the lake or just fishing on shore. And Glenn had the crawler tied on. It was like the mini or whatever the hell. And I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I've never fucking seen a crawler before. And he's like, you serious? And so I was fishing it for a little bit. And it
Wow.
was super cool bait. And I had gotten a crawler just now or however, I don't even know how you
I highly suggest you fuck with it.
dude, I got one. I got one.
At night. At
And
night.
I'm excited to fish it because yeah,
I,
I'm just excited for
I
fishing.
think you might do well on it. Dude, crawlers are fucking dude. They're they're the juice, bro. They really are. It's fucking crazy. The KRR and the Mega Pump are two of the fucking best lures ever built. Ever.
Really. That's crazy.
Dude. It- yeah. Those like it, I almost feel guilty saying it. Like I don't even want to tell anyone. Like, yo, delete that part out of the thing.
Well, dude, the KRRs like I guys have them. They've got a price tag on them, but for whatever
I'll tell you
reason,
why I like the KRR, bro. So the KRR, the reason I like it so much is it's not like a lot of it's hard to describe, but a lot of like crawlers have this like gloop, big
yeah, yep, yep,
glooping.
yep.
The KR is like you can work it way slower and it goes like dit, 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 dit.
Yeah.
I'm just doing like dumb noises, but you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah, yeah, it's like less obnoxious
Like
of like a water
we can
flop.
work it so fucking slow, dude, and it still makes a dit, 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 dit. And dude, that I feel like that real subtle like slap is like they love that, dude. Not so much the fucking bloop 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 like that huge like sometimes they do like that. The big that's where the mega pump comes. The mega pump has more of like the big glooping sound.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, the mega pump sounds like a fucking like like some guy with like a keychain on his hip.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what the mega pump sounds like.
Dude,
But
that's
dude,
funny.
so sometimes I feel like bring both of them, throw both of them, one or the other might hit. And if it ain't that, I don't know. Go home.
Oh, I'm gonna send you this crawl. I'm not gonna say the name of it out loud because it's pretty low key, but I'll just send it to you and you can look it up. Super crazy bait. But dude, the crawlers, so I will say some crawlers I look at and they are just like obnoxious. Like not obnoxious as like as far as like noises or whatever it may be, but
Yeah.
the hardware, like there's so many pins on it or whatever it may be. And then some baits I see there's like hardly any hardware on it. And my biggest thing is I've come like I'm at the point now like where I'll dick around with baits and I don't really care, but like crawlers are I know some are super finicky. Like if you bend one just a millimeter too far, it's just all
Yeah.
out of fucking whack.
Yeah.
Is the KR like that, or is it pretty easy to dick around with?
KR, so the KRR is Oh, it depends how much fish you catch. So if you catch like fucking like 60 dinks, yeah, they're gonna bend your shit.
Mhm.
The carrot is pretty good. It will bend though, and you will have to bend it and tweak it back. And it's kind of gay unless you have the best thing is to have two of them, one brand new one. That way you can bend the old wings back to how how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're like, well, you keep bending them all. You're like, what the fuck? And it's not even just bending them back. It's like bending them like the right angle too.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a pain in the ass. But
I don't know, like, if you want to check Instagram real quick and look at that crawler I just sent you, it can do a couple different things, but that video I just sent you is like the most intriguing one because it's like no crawler, like no other crawler I
well, let
know.
me take a look at it. Let's see. Yeah, that thing will get fucking. The thing will get cream pied.
Dude, hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna tell you the price.
Yeah, see how the wings are like straight out on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. See, a lot of crawlers have them like at like a 45-degree angle,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
and like
more
and
like
like and then they've got like eye screws for the backstops and stuff like that, just so they bounce back. Like that shit's so crazy.
yeah. I feel like so. I guess there's two versions of the KR. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm just making shit up, but I'm pretty sure there's two versions, and one has the screw eyes and one doesn't. And I think that the screw eyes one's is tunable. But
Okay.
honestly, the way it comes stock, I wouldn't want to touch it. So I like have two of them. So the one that if it gets fucked up, I just bend it back to how the other one is, and it's
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
pretty
That's
much out, like straight out, like at like a fucking 90-degree angle, like that, like or whatever, 180-degree angle,
hmm
like almost. And that causes for like the smaller, like little bloops. The other ones are like big glushing bloop. I don't know. Glushing bloops. I don't know how to fucking describe it. You know what I'm saying though?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah,
big the noise. If you fish crawlers, you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
yeah. I fished two different crawlers and they are significantly different from each other. So I kind of have
You
an
know the
idea.
KRR?
No, never a
Oh
KRR.
my God,
Just
come on. You gotta get one, dude. They're fucking sick.
dude, when I get so I will say I've caught smallmouth on those little Hudden pop or crawlers, but I've
Yeah.
yet to I just got Jers and I haven't fished it yet because it's been so balls cold here. But I'm gonna be going on a trip next week and I'm gonna fish it because it's gonna be really warm. So I'm gonna go out at night and fish it.
All
And
right, man. Good. I'm gonna see some tanks.
I think I can catch some. I think I can. Did you when you messed with yours, was it its own bait or did you make it off a psycho trout or a psycho
No,
gilgon?
it's actually yeah. It's a psycho trout. I would have had those same bullshit ass fucking wings from Muskie shop
Oh
that
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
else uses. And I'm like, dude, so that's my thing, dude. You see everyone uses these the mad eyes, the mad lures eyes.
Yep, yep.
And everyone uses the like I don't want to use the shit everyone else fucking uses, dude. I want to make my own shit. So I might have some custom wings made. And that's how I'll do my crawler, but I'm not doing the same shit everyone else does. Fuck that.
Heck yeah, dude. I mean, it's cool to like have your own one-off stuff.
Yeah, or it's just like fucking what's the point of buying this shit if fucking everyone else makes the same shit?
Right. Yeah. No, I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Oh shit, we're talking about the crawler full time. I guess now we'll kind of wind it down a little bit. We've been all over the place. What's the biggest fish you have caught on your baits? And then what's the biggest customer fish off the top of your head?
I guess it would be a 6'5". It would be on the three piece. Yeah, it was 6'5" on the three piece. The same night I caught a 513 and a 6'5"
Damn,
on the three piece gill. I'm pretty sure, like a couple years ago. Caught a
damn.
6'2" recently on the mini gill. So I think that was the second biggest fish. I
What
suck at fishing though, so I'm not getting
what
many big fish.
do you know what the biggest fish caught on your baits are?
Yeah, it's a 10-2. It was caught in I forget where the fuck it was caught. Well, obviously it was south somewhere. I think it was Georgia or somewhere, one of these fucking places.
Damn.
But there's a 10-2 and there's like two or three nines caught on it too.
Okay, well, we'll talk after the podcast. I got something pretty cool to tell you. But anyway, we so you I mean
Oh.
the big fish, the big fish on the bait already. Are you kind of talked about working on a glide bait. Is there anything else besides a glide bait that you're kind of work? Oh, with the Psycho Gill Mini, those are also a thing too. We didn't really talk about those at all either. That's kind of a newer thing, right? Like within the last year.
Yeah, so I have the mini Psycho Gill, basically the same. So it's the same shit as the regular Psycho Gill, but come to find out, it kind of is more. The ones I've released are more of like a low float, like
Okay.
cranking ones. So they don't
Okay.
really wake that good.
Damn. Okay. And
So
yeah. So you got the minis. I didn't mean to cut you off there. You got the minis, and then you also
no,
got
no problem.
uh doubles and triple Psycho Gills and Psycho Trouts too, right?
Yep,
Like there's two variants of each.
yep,
Dang.
yes,
So
sir.
was what was the reason to chop it up to a third piece, or was it just like fuck it, why not?
Well, I mean, yeah, fuck it, why not make a different bait?
Just a different
I
different
mean,
action.
the action's completely different,
Right.
way more subtle. Than the three-piece baits are way more subtle.
Oh no
You know what I
shit.
mean? Yeah, it's like the two-piece baits. I feel like are good for fucking waking, or like the two-piece gill is almost like a huge. Like when you crank that thing in, you can feel it in your rod tip,
Like
like
yeah.
you
Oh,
know what I mean?
100%
Like
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah. So the three-piece is a little more subtle, but I don't know. It depends. It's like all things, you know. The fish like different shit, so sometimes the three pieces of juice, sometimes the two pieces of juice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely know what you're saying. Did that start? Did you just take a two piece and chop it in half and catch fish on it, or did you just ask Ro to hook it up and chop it for you?
No, I cut my own ass end off.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
Did
no,
you?
I was making three pieces before I had Roe do the
Oh,
three
okay.
pieces. So I was making three pieces for a while, bro.
Damn. Okay. What? Ooh. So yeah. Was huh, I
So
guess.
I had to cut the fucking two pieces. Like so I had the molds made for the two pieces and I had to cut the second part of the bait, you
Yeah.
know, with the bandsaw, then cut it again. And you know, it's a big fucking pain in the asshole. But yeah, I did it.
That's funny. Is that why the three pieces are like so desirable because there's not nearly as many out there?
Uh I don't know, maybe that. You know, for some reason people are like, oh, it's three pieces and not two. People think like three pieces are worth more, I guess. I don't know. Honestly, they both catch, depending on the situation, they both catch the same amount of fish.
Right.
So
Yeah. Um. So I will ask you this because I think I've asked a couple other you know really well respected, renowned builders. What is it like to see your baits on waffle pages or get sold secondhand for uh quite a bit higher of a markup than what you sell it for? Does that kind of piss you off or does that like make you laugh? What kind of goes through your mind when you see well, I mean, dude, at one point in time, I mean, the three-piece Psycho Gills were going for a chunk of change. I mean, I'm sure you had seen it too. What was the feeling behind that for you?
it's a little bittersweet. I'm sure it's the same as everyone else feels.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see that people are willing to pay that much money for that bait, but it's not doing me any fucking favors.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But you know, it is what it is, man. It's fucking this is capitalism, baby. It's America.
Hmm.
This isn't North Korea. Fuck that.
Right.
Who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it I don't know. I've seen. I mean, there's been a handful of magazines that have been like obviously complete, pears to or apples to oranges here, but I've seen magazines get resold not for what they cost, but it like just to see your baits or like your product go up for sale secondhand. It kind of like I don't know. I kind of saw that and it kind of made me happy. I was like, dang, like this guy found value in it or whatever it may be, and now you with the magazine, like once you're done reading it, if you don't want to sit on your table, obviously you post it for sale, and I just kind of it always this is making me feel like, oh dang, like this guy like actually read it, whether he liked it or not, I
Yeah.
don't know, but now he's selling it for $5 less and somebody new is going to be able to buy it or see it. And then when I see somebody buy it, I'm like, damn, like somebody bought it secondhand. Like that's pretty cool. Like there's a quote unquote like secondhand market out there for the magazine. And I think I'd always thought that was pretty cool when I do see the few pop up for sale.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And it's cool to see people like appreciate the bait that much to spend that kind of money on it. Because dude, honestly, like I wouldn't spend that much money on this bait. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, fuck that. But you know, it's cool. It's like it's nice. People do appreciate the hard work that goes in and
Mhm.
the rarity of so whatever. I mean, like I said, it's kind of bittersweet, but it's more sweet. I appreciate it. It's all good, man. It is what it is. It's swim bait economics. You know how it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I guess we'll talk about like gear and then we'll kind of talk about like what the future holds, like as far as the website and stuff goes. So I guess what are the specs of the Psycho Gill and Psycho Trout two pieces and kind of what's the stuff you fished on and kind of maybe not necessarily recommend, but what's the stuff that you use that works well for your baits?
So the Psycho Gill, the regular Psycho Gill and the Psycho Trout are about 3 ounces, 3.2 ounces. And the mini's like 1.9 maybe, one give or take, depending on what the microballoons feel like. But I throw them all in my fucking this custom rod from you may have heard of them. Leviathan rods.
You may have heard of them. Yes, yes, I know Leviathan
Yeah.
rod.
So I throw it on this. I think it's a custom rod, but I'm pretty sure it's an Omega blank,
Okay.
but it's custom wrapped. Hold on. What the fuck I just clicked on this bitch? Let me check. Let me snap my tip off real quick. 8 foot. It's an 8 foot heavy,
Okay, yep.
and it's 2 to 6 ounces, and that thing's fucking perfect for the regular gill. It's perfect for the mini gill too. I mean, it might be a little bit much for that, but I mean, a lot of these swim bait guys aren't gonna fucking downsize their rod just for one bait. So
Right, yeah.
that thing still works, man. Like I don't know, I've caught a decent amount of fish recently on it, and I haven't lost shit, man. This thing's it's real parabolic, the
Mhm.
Omega blank.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I use 20 pound copoly. So between that and the bend on the rod, I set my drag fucking like lockdown, dude, and I just fucking
Right.
I just let the rod do the work.
Yep.
So a lot of guys like were like, oh, I broke off a fish or whatever the fuck. I'm like, well, what are you using? They're like, oh, braid. I'm like, yeah, you gotta fuck with your drag now.
Yeah, that's a the story is old as time.
But if you, I was using before that, I was using the like a Dobin's 806, like a Champion 806,
Yeah, yep.
like a six power Dobin's would be perfect.
Okay. So what are you just fishing? I mean, the baits are small enough that you can just fish them on like a Corrado 200K, right?
Yeah, you could. I know a couple of guys who do very well who do that. I use a 300. I use a 300, but I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of matching the rod to the reel, you
Yeah,
know.
personal preference,
But to
really.
me, 200 seems a little undersized, but I know a lot of guys who use it who do very well. So I'm not going to talk shit.
Oh, that's funny, dude. Line, rod, reels, the baits, what hooks do you use for the baits?
One aunt Mustad KVDs, the TG76 uh NPBN or whatever.
Whatever the hell they are. Okay, sick.
Yeah, I forget the exact fucking full code word, but yeah, they're Mustad one aughts. They're the KVD ones.
Hell yeah, dude. So we talked about the rod and stuff you use for your fishing, your baits. And then like so we got the website coming soon or coming eventually. Got that.
Yep.
And then so on the website, are you gonna try to like kind of always or maybe do like weekly drops or make it a point to try to always have baits on the website or just do limited drops every
Well,
couple of weeks?
probably just whenever the fuck I can, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean like that's how I mean realistically that's how most guys do it. And if you have
Yeah,
like
you know how it is.
yeah,
I'm not Rapala, dude. I can't like fucking crank out everything all the time.
yeah. And
You
if you
know.
have a couple guys, I mean it makes it easier. It still might be, 2 or 3 weeks at a time, but like you and then also there's no point in dropping 10 baits because those are gonna last point
Right.
point 2 seconds. Like you have to make it worth
Right.
your time.
Yeah, I'll probably do like 50 baits maybe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We'll
100%.
see. Definitely gonna keep it fucking going, but I'm not doing like hundreds of baits. It's
Yeah,
not gonna be like fucking like tackle warehouse style shit.
right. Um, I'm trying to think. We don't have any shows or anything coming up, do we? Is there any shows coming up soon that you guys will be at?
Not till the gathering or the fucking New England one. That
Okay.
one's gonna be busting. You gonna be there?
If I find out what weekend it is and I could take it off, yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like in February, the New England show, the swim bait fucking
Whatever.
slash fishing expo.
Sick. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. What's the Instagram for guys who don't follow you already?
Just Lanciotti Lures.
Perfect. I'm trying to think of anything. I don't think there's anything else that I had to ask. I think we covered a lot of bases. We went down a lot of rabbit holes, but we had a good conversation. It was a good hour and 18-minute episode. I think this was a really fun episode. We shot the shit a lot, and
Yeah.
I hope you felt like it was a good episode, and we had a good time, and we didn't make a fool out of ourselves. I don't think we did. I mean,
No,
I
I thought it was pretty cool. I had a couple of drinks, talked about a couple things.
I've made a fool out of myself out of 144 episodes, and people still listen. So I mean,
Dude, anybody's been at any of the expos, it's like, all right, that's just Joey.
yeah, exactly.
They all know. They all know already.
Oh, yeah, dude. So as always, I want to thank Joey for coming on the episode. I will leave his. You don't have like a YouTube or anything?
Not yet. That is something I am working on, but not yet. No.
Okay, sick. So I will put Joey's Instagram in the show notes, and then I'll come back if you guys are listening to this and maybe a year. Check under the description whenever Joey launches the website. I'll come back and I'll update that, and I'll have the website in the link or in the description too. So as always, I want to thank Joey for coming on. I want to thank you guys for listening. When you guys are hearing this, I should be receiving the magazines like this week, Friday. So in a couple days, when you guys are listening to this, and they should be going out Monday. I'm gonna have a post on Instagrams tomorrow, so it might change a little bit, but the shirts and the magazines will be coming really soon, and those will be all getting shipped out to you guys. I think I have a few extras of each, so if you guys missed out, Lake Pro Tackle will also have some, and if you guys are in Germany, Lake Bandit just opened up a pre-order, so hit those guys up if you're in Germany or in Europe and want the magazines, and we'll get them out to you guys. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See you guys.